Hey everybody, it's Brian Poth from the Source LGBT Center, and I'm really excited today to introduce everybody. You probably know her already, but today we have Erin Garner Ford. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fully caffeinated. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Me too. I'm ready. And I just realized that my screen says Emily.
Oh, does it? I
Yeah, it's
can't see
okay.
that, but yeah, I would love to talk to Emily too if Emily has time. You can fit
She's
me in her
asleep.
schedule.
She's very busy. She's sleeping.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. No, anytime. Yeah. If Emily wants to do this with us, it'd be great.
Okay. I'll tell
You know,
her.
I'm her biggest fan.
I know. I know. And she loves you.
Oh, I love her too. So, thanks for joining me today. This is our virtual center. We broadcast these. We're trying to do them every day. And the whole point is to give people sort of like the inside scoop or something on our allies in our community. So I just want to talk about what you're doing now
Awesome.
and your relationship to us and our relationship and everybody, Erin was with Act for Women and Girls for 15 years. And when we first started the Source, Bev Anderson said, you have to talk to Erin Garner Ford. Like, she's the person you need to talk to. She's been doing this thing forever. And so I did meet Erin, and Erin actually taught me how to write our first grant, like worked with us on it. And so I have to thank you, Erin, for every grant we've ever written and won, because I learned everything I know from you.
Oh,
and
you're too kind.
so yeah, I just want to talk about like that shift from Act for Women and Girls, and now you're consulting, and we benefit from that too. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to give an opportunity to talk about what you're doing now.
Awesome. Well, I want to first say that I'm a huge fan of the Source and I'm a huge fan of yours. And thank you, Brian, for all that you've done for me. So, and I really appreciate you and just the experiences that we've had working together over the years. So, I was with ACT for almost 15 years, and I am now in this new space in time. And like Brian said to me, it's everybody's following me now that we're all working from home. So,
You lead
it's
the way. You're a trailblazer.
I'm a trailblazer. So in November of 2019, I found out that my son has melanoma and he's 16 years old. And many people know that it's public, and I don't cry now when I talk about it, but he is going to be okay. So I had to make a really, really tough decision as to what I was going to do next. And because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to keep up with my job at ACT. And I love ACT. I will always love ACT. And I miss all the people that I worked with very much. But I couldn't do it anymore because my son and my other kids and my husband needed me. And it was probably the best decision that I've made in a really long time. I'm really happy with the decision that I made. And Jackson, my son, is going to be fine. He is receiving treatment from Stanford, and his prognosis is looking good. His last PET scan showed that the treatment's working, and I couldn't be happier about that.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
That's really good news. And he's such a cool kid. Like, your kids are probably the coolest kids I've ever met.
Thank you.
So yeah, good job.
Thank
um,
you.
yeah, so I'm glad to hear that he's doing well and the treatments are working.
Yes, I am as well. I feel really confident. So what I am doing now is I spend most of my day taking care of other people. And that's not in a bad way. I mean, as a feminist, as somebody who has been very much an advocate, I feel like I'm finally able to advocate for myself and for my family. So I have the time now to be on the phone with doctors' offices and other entities to really make sure that Jackson's getting the care that he needs. And so I spend part of my time doing that. And then the rest of my time I spend doing consulting. And I get to work with people like you and Salt and Light, and I get to work with ACT. And so it's really exciting for me.
Yeah, and I have to say, I truly believe in like cosmic design. And if I could have willed something, Like this was like the biggest Christmas present ever for us because, you know, the Source benefits from your consulting for sure. And I was going to you anyway for advice. And so the fact that we can work together now it just made a lot of sense because, you know, this is no surprise to anybody, but I am like, this is not, you know, what I intended to do with my life. I was an actor. I'd only been an actor. That's all I'd ever done. I had waited tables maybe a couple times in between acting jobs, but you know, learning how to run a nonprofit is like, there's a lot to learn. And so, you know, thank you so much for working with us because that organizational structure that you really need to build that foundation, you know, hey, I'm a quick learner, but at some point, you know, we grew so fast in the last 4 years that there just weren't enough people to support the growth. And so your consulting has been able to fill that gap for us so that we can really, you know, the point this year was to stop growing and just stabilize. And so your presence in our org has done that for us. So I just really want to thank you because now we have the structure in place that, you know, we were just kind of, you know, going with the flow. And so once we were able to be intentional about it, it was sort of like the sky opened up and here you appeared. And I just want to say thank you because you really help all of us, and our staff loves you and our board loves you. And so I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you. Well, I love you all, and it's a pleasure to work with you. So I realized now in retrospect, somebody taught me, and I did go to school, but I also was taught, and I'm self-taught, but I'm also taught by other people. And I think that it's really important to recognize that these skills, you have to trial and error and learn from the ground up, especially when you're building an organization. It is not an easy task. You've done an excellent job. And it's really exciting for me to be able to come in and work with a successful organization and be able to share what I have learned over the years. And I will tell you, I've made many mistakes, and now I realize when I'm able to look back in retrospect, I realize what works and what doesn't work, or what worked and will not work.
Yeah.
And that's really helpful to be able to share that with organizations that I care about and that I feel really passionate about what you're working on. So that to me, it's a win-win. Every day I'm so happy to get up and do the work that I'm doing. And I'm passionate about it. So it's a perfect match.
Yeah. And it shows because, you know, we talk about something and then like an hour later I get an email and it's already finished. I'm like, whoa, how did that happen? So I'm really, really grateful for the work that you're doing for us and Salt and Light. And I'm sure ACT is really happy you're still around in some capacity.
Yeah.
I know they all love you so much. But I know that you're working on something else outside of that. We talked a little bit about it before. Could you share about your fellowship?
Sure, I would love to. So I am currently part of a fellowship through the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation called the Interdisciplinary Research Leaders. And I started this roughly a year and a half ago. I'm in a team with two other individuals, one from UC Berkeley and one from UC San Diego. And we are working collectively to do research on birth control access in pharmacies. And so we've launched our study, and we're looking for people between the ages of 15 to 44 to get out there and take the survey that we have. And ACT is going to be posting the survey really, really soon on their social media, or anybody can contact me if they want to take it. So women between the ages of 15 to 44, we're looking for feedback on your experience in pharmacies. And we're also going to be doing some stakeholder interviews and some interviews with pharmacists to be able to put together all of our research. And the whole experience has been really valuable for me and has helped me grow as a leader, and then also understanding research more. So I'm hoping that I can continue in this area. I really am, because it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
That's cool. And I know that is this the fellowship that you're traveling for occasionally and things like that? So how
Yeah.
has that shifted with COVID-19? Like, were there things that you can't go to
Yeah.
anymore, or?
Yeah. So the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation had a really big conference at the end of March, beginning of April, that was canceled. That was in San Diego. And then our cohorts and actual fellowship are facilitated through the University of Minnesota. And we're supposed to go back in October.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're also supposed to go to Hawaii this summer. So that was another piece of it, which was, I was
Oh,
really looking
yeah.
forward to, but I'm not sure if that's going
I
to
don't know
happen.
how you slipped. Oh, and by the way, yeah, we were going to go to Hawaii. Where were you going to? Which island?
So I'm pretty sure Honolulu is where we were going to
Okay.
go, because the university's there.
Mhm.
But I actually don't know for sure, but I'm pretty positive. So I wasn't getting my hopes up because it just seems so dreamy. And my
Right.
actual cohort, there's going to be 10 cohorts total, and I'm part of cohort 3. So our cohort is putting it together. And this all started, the planning of it started when I found out about Jackson.
Mm.
So I had to pull back from my fellowship between November and the end of the year. And so I wasn't part of the planning, but they're still planning it. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'm hopeful too. I just, I'm hoping that, we can get back to normal when, I don't even want to say normal, but get back to, work as soon as it's safe. But I
Mhm.
also have really enjoyed this time at home.
Me
Like,
too.
how busy it is. And,
Mhm.
I think there were weeks where, I was doing 3 or 4 12-hour days, and that's not by choice. It was just like, there's so much work, there's so much programming, there's so much to do. And so this has really sort of stopped that momentum. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's given me a chance to go, oh, right, this is what it should feel like. This is
Right.
a normal, healthier pace.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that when we're allowed to go
Yeah.
back out, and start working again, that most people are going to want to shift to a less capitalistic sort of, white supremacist
Yeah.
go kind of attitude, because um, it's contagious.
It is.
And even though we're nonprofit and we're doing our best to uplift marginalized voices, our like revenue streams and our way of working are still very rooted in you know
Yep.
capitalism. And
Absolutely.
so we will have to look at that. This is a good time to look at that and adjust that, and be more open, and just slow down and be more intentional. So I'm excited about what that might look like.
I'm excited for you because it's so important. And I realize how important it is now that I'm not in that race anymore of just trying to keep up all the time. It feels really good to not be in that space. And I'm noticing you and other people slowing down a little bit. And so I'm hopeful that it can stay that way.
Yeah, I think it's because for me, it doesn't feel like because everybody's doing it,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel like eh, I'm going to say it, being lazy,
Right.
being irresponsible. It doesn't feel like all those things that we grew up learning, right? Stay busy, be useful, like all of that stuff that is helpful in starting an organization,
Right.
but sustaining it, those things will bite you in the butt, right?
They will.
They will
They
come
will.
back to haunt you, because you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
for instance, I used to have brown hair. Like, I have a full head of gray hair. But, and also just seeing family, like being around my partner, has been such a pleasure. There were weeks where we saw each other maybe a total of
Yeah.
5 hours during the week.
Yeah.
So how has that been for you? I'm sure it's wonderful, being able to be with your kids and your partner and.
Mm-hmm. It's been a game changer for me. I know that my girls especially are so thankful that I'm much more available than what I was. I think that they were really used to going to their dad, and now that I'm home, they see the value, and they also just we're enjoying each other more. And so some of the things that I've been doing, I've been running and they will skateboard alongside me, and we try to do that daily. And we do, now that we're all cooped up in the house together, we do interact a lot. And so we're not necessarily doing special things, but that's one thing we get to do is leave the house to do that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
So I do want to ask you, because I'm asking everybody, is there anything you're binging on Netflix, or what was the other one? Are you reading anything that you really like? And the third one is, and you don't have to answer all of them. And the third one is, are you on TikTok?
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so I'll answer that one first. No, I'm not on TikTok. I did create an account to try to monitor my kids. But
I don't think you can, right?
I don't think I can. But Emily, my youngest, who's 10, has been wanting me to be on TikTok really bad. And yesterday she was talking to me about it. So if she would have convinced me last night, I would have said yes, but no, not yet. And then I did binge watch Tiger King, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I have not continued watching TV as much. And I did start reading, but I'm going to be honest, I have not been able to keep up. I had about 4 books next to my bed, and I read about 80 to 100 pages of each of them, and I have not been able to continue one of them. So
yeah,
that's just one of those things. But I was working on a puzzle, so that's good downtime.
Cool. What was the puzzle? What was the picture on the puzzle?
It was Wonder Woman.
Ah, my favorite.
Yeah.
But my favorite is the Linda Carter Wonder Woman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you're probably too young to remember that, but I busted my head open. It was probably, and I had like butterfly stitches as a 5-year-old kid. I love to pretend to be Wonder Woman. And you know how she spins around to change into the, so I would spin myself. Well, first of all, I like the feeling of spinning too, right? Who doesn't? Yeah. So I busted my head open on the coffee table, and I of course I had shame about pretending to be Wonder Woman. So I lied and said I was like dancing around like Scott Baio or something. But I can now say proudly that I was pretending to be the Linda Carter version of Wonder Woman, because that's like
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's a great
And
story.
I'm excited for the new Wonder Woman, that 1984 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will be good.
I don't know how we'll watch it, but
I don't know either, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, Erin, thank you so much for all you do for the Source and all you did for our community with Act for Women and Girls, and everything you're doing for Salt and Light. I talked with Adrienne last week, and she just loves you, and I just want to say thank you for everything you do, and wish you well, and give Jackson a big hug for me, and I can't wait to play Spicy Farkle with you someday.
Sounds good. That's awesome, Brian. Thank you for this opportunity. I really feel so fortunate to be able to work with you and Adrienne, and I love it. It's just, my life really feels so much better. As much as I do love ACT, the pace was really hard to keep up with at the end there for me. So it's really nice to slow down a little bit.
Well, I'll put your contact information in the post, so that if people want to ask you more questions or find out more about what you're doing, or maybe even ask for some help, they can reach out to you.
That would be awesome. I am going to be looking for some new contracts, and I'm hoping to continue to do organizational development work with nonprofits. So I'm open.
Well, there's only 1 million of them in the Central Valley, so I'm sure you'll be busy.
Just 1 million. Yeah. Thank
Well,
you,
thanks
Brian.
again, Erin. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.